Hey guys, welcome to J Plays. I am Iceman, and welcome to the latest Devblog for my work on my translation project of Nanatama Chronicle of Dungeon Maker on the Sony PSP, or as I like to call it, Dungeon Maker 3, as that's basically what it is anyway. Alright, so it's been quite a few days since the previous one. So the previous one was back on the 22nd of January. We're now at the 28th. So what, 6 days later? And quite a lot of progress has happened since that point in time. Actually, sorry, no, it was back on the 18th. Yeah, the 18th of the 1st. So what's that, like, but yeah, about 18 days almost. Almost about 18 days. I don't know. My brain's not working. Anyway, so where the previous video left off was with us ending here, where we had basically the full dungeon experience done. Ruins and dungeon. A reminder, there's certain things I can't translate based on my skill set, because I've never done anything like this before. A reminder that everything is being done in abbreviations. Well, not everything, but like things like menus and stuff like that. I'm limited to the amount of kanji letters that the game had for it. So whatever I replace it with, maximum of it can be whatever the length of that was. Anyway, oh yeah, and I can't do things like, because I don't know how you do it, is extracting the image files to be able to translate stuff. So if you see, like, on the map that's here, like around that thing there and that thing there, those are image files, so would actually have to be translated. I don't know how in the hell you do that. Anyways, so, but that stuff I've covered previously. So that was where we left things off. So the work that has been done since the previous video, we now go to the town section where I have now translated everything. And I mean everything that happens within the first day. So this is the end of that first day. So I'm proud to say that the game now has that full day done. So let's take you through it. So we start with the first information pop-up. Adventure. You can only have one adventure per day. Return to our lab, as in research lab. Before we go there, because that presents an extremely long conversation, I'm going to take you through everything else that's been done. So let's start with the market. Oh, welcome. Excuse me, but have you moved recently? Did you come here for work? If you don't mind, what kind of work? She's a very nosy person. Is research your job? The person studying ruins is your brother? You're quite thin. It's a very strange thing to say. Sorry, rumor is that he was a bear. Again, that's really weird. Anyway, the market sells fresh vegetables. And we buy almost anything, so bring us anything. So this was one of the more quicker conversations to translate. Thankfully, as far as cheese goes, there wasn't much in the way of new things that needed to be done, because I'd already translated this in the previous sections. That is, until we get to the selling menu, where there was one extra item to sell building materials. And even then, this was like very brief amount of work, because it was just mainly the title and making sure the bottom stuff was like the bottom button prompts was translated. And then that was it for her. See you off with it and a smile for free. Store manager told me to say that. So that was her. Now, the quickest one to translate was this particular conversation with Frederick, the person who owns the build shop. Dungeon Maker arc, materials do okay? From today, I will be selling building materials for the dungeon. Very brief conversation, but we get this information pop up telling us that you can buy and sell building materials at the build shop, which are necessary materials for building dungeons. I mean, if you've played the previous game, that's a given, but like, you know. And now we have the first of the new shops that has opened up. So now we can buy building materials and we can sell them. As you can see. So I had to go through here and make sure that everything was translated as opposed to the building material names for both buying and selling. Okay, so we've done that. We've done the market. Okay, next up is the chemist. Welcome back. You're back safe. I was worried. Nobody's been to the ruins for ages. Me? I've never been there. I respect your work. Amazing. I'm praising you. My name is VV. I'm a witch. I'm still in training. My grandma, who's also a witch, said don't go near the ruins. Well, it's so ingrained in me. You can go to the forbidden places. So how are the ruins? Are they in ruins? Don't let such dreams be dashed. So it was another very quick conversation. This one, the event, like the store screen, this here had already been translated in previous versions, so I didn't need to do anything here, thankfully. Yeah, one thing that's unfortunate as I work on this is that there's so much nuance, like extra detail in conversations that has to be cut out just due to the size limitations in the sentences. Because I'm restricted by those amount of letters, is that I often have to cut out so much like fluff in the conversation that shows the personality of that person, just to have the absolute basics of what they're saying, because that fits most of the time, just not with the flavor text. So yeah, if later on down the line, if I get any assistance in setting up like half fixed width or variable fixed width or something like that, then oh my god, that will make such a difference to this project. Everything will look so much better. The menus, the systems, everything. Anyway. Alright, so next up, let's go to the smith shop. Now last time we came here, about 2 or 3 videos ago, 3 videos ago, this guy was quite rude, and it was a very brief conversation. Greetings. I hear you're surveying the ruins. Didn't seem the type. Your armor already has dirt and signs of damage. Be careful. Weapons can be repaired. Any repairs you need, come to me. Take care of your weapons and they will last long. Want to succeed? Listen to what I say, haha. And that was about it for him. There's nothing else additional since the previous stuff. Like, no new items have been added to his inventory. Everything here is what was there before. Makes it nice and simple, just a conversation that had to be done. Now, that leaves us with a couple of things. Oh, by the way, another thing I translated, so if you try to go back to the dungeon, these had to be done. So, you know, so that it just says, you know, 1 adventure per, you know, a day. And to have these grayed out and then have those versions done. Alright. So we've done that. Next up is one of the really long conversations. So, alright, so let's talk to Sophia, the fortune teller. Ah, dungeon maker. What's wrong? Hello, Sophia. Oh, an elf. From the orb? Yes, Elven Forest, long since I left. Now I'm sealed. With his help, briefly I can leave. Must be hard. I sense all is not well. Yes, something I need to know. It may be tough. It's about the orb. Tell me of the one who sealed me. Anything you know may help. It's difficult. Image is vague. I guess maybe something... Please. Gaia, heed my call. Evil feeling. Being in ruins. Sorry, I don't see. With a better image, may be different. Sorry, I couldn't help. Hey, unfair request. I'll find a way. Ark. That's the player name I chose back in the beginning. You have decided to help those sealed, right? As in those sealed in orbs. Please come back if you gain new information. And then if you go and ask for her to read your fortune, it's the exact same fortune telling reading that we showed previously. So that's no different. I'm not going to waste my money. So with those are the medium to short conversations that take place. Now we have some one particularly very long conversation with Elena and a particular other new person. If you remember me showing in the previous video, I was like, who the hell's that? That guy looks like a pirate. So let's see who it is. You're back safe. Huh? That orb. Know of this orb? Whoa, I'm shocked. If you know anything, please. Ah, by chance, are you an elf? Yes. That a problem? Sorry, no, I was just startled. A sealing orb? Yeah. Long ago, I was sealed in the ruins. All I recall was its presence. Today, Ark heard my call to leave the orb. Mr. Ark, you have the power to free them? Seal not broken, I must return. Ah. Wow, she's back in the orb. I read a book on sealing monsters to orbs. I'm not sure of beings with sealing powers. Again, try surveying the ruins. You may find something. Let me know, please. I will read more. Oh my, I guessed. Ah, Professor. Dungeon Maker he is. What? Is this for real or not? Oh wow, for real? Dungeon Maker? If you're in town, it was worth coming here. I investigate monsters. Well, more the treasures they carry. Why, is this thing a rare treasure? You own a museum, right? I aim to fill it with rare items. Please call me Director. I can't call you that, though. I prefer it to Professor. He visited when I attended the academy. I told exciting stories to students daily. I have not been invited back. I tried my best there. Classes brought us into your hobbies. May have been. The professor is the lead expert for monster research. I am to study monsters of Crete ruins, as in monsters of the Crete ruins. Never thought I'd meet you here in town. Please continue surveying the ruins. Find something good and we will trade, okay? And continue research. Here is my first request. Kill 5 monsters and register. Then you will be able to move to the next step. I prepared a house for you, Ark. Feel free to use it. I also have this for you. It's a root item. Root is an accessory which grows with fangs given. Strengthens weapons if attached. You won't know till you try it out. Got the blade root. So, as first task, register 5 monsters, survey the ruins. So that takes us through an extremely long conversation. So in actual terms, that conversation goes for about 61 steps. That took a very, 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 very long time to translate. And to get it working and, you know, like to hex edit all that in. That's about several hours of work. What took me about, I don't know, 2 minutes to read through for you. So that's the first bit. Now, if we go back... See you later. Now we have it that the player's home location is available. Now, before we go there though, I'll take you through the other conversations you can have with Elena, because there's 2 more conversations that we can have, but both of them are based on the items that you have on you. So currently and if you would have seen it in the previous video. So in the previous video we got the Angel Orb. That's this one right here. That contains the spirit of like a angel that shoots sacred arrows at and does double damage against like undead creatures. And the other one was not in this screen, it was in here. We got the Alrayon leaves, or Alrune leaves. So both of those are of significance to Elena. Those ones correspond to 2 different conversations that we can have with her. So if we go here... Hey Ark! Did you find something? Can you show it to me? It's an orb. An angel orb? It's different to Feel's orb. Looks slightly smaller. Feel is the elf creature thing. Amazing to obtain such power. A little angel is inside. Best I've seen. Seems to be a lot of stuff in the ruins. Keep up the good work. So that's the first conversation you can have. And here's the one for the Alrune leaves. Hey Ark, can I look at that leaf? Definitely an Alrune leaf. Food ingredient. What? You don't know? Alrune bread. Use the leaves with wheat. Make note of it. Learned Alrune bread. So Alrune bread is a particular meal type. Once you get that one, that leaves an entry in the journal, which if we go check that here, if you see this little entry here. So I had to translate this one. But we still have the issue of this particular see where it says bet. That was one change I did too between the last version and this one. So rather than I said kill, which would use all the letters up to here, I said bet, which goes to there. I know it's not the best writing, but it's just something that fit. Anyway, the research lab is the place that you go to hand in research-related data for any new monsters that you encounter. So if we now go to her and we go to update the R file, which is report monsters or update. Updating file. The results are 1 new monster. The reward is 3000 gil as your reward. Each class permit needs 5+ new monsters. See you later. Because we currently have I class. So the way that this game works is a permit system where you start from grade I and then you make your way all up. I think it goes all the way up to A. I don't know if there's an S class, but there's a A. Alright, so that's all the main town conversations done. I can't believe how quickly I've gone through all this. Stuff that took me so long to do. Anyway, now, one of the most important things in Dungeon Maker, apart from going to dungeons, is the daily meals that you take, storing the items, the important things that you may not necessarily need right now, but things that you want to store away for later. But the meal and resting is one of the most important aspects because that's how you build up the character very slowly over time. So the player's home is a very important place to visit on a regular basis. So that takes us here, so to the player's home. Evening. Eat at home and rest to restore HP and MP. Next day, the dungeon will be reset. So from here, most of this stuff corresponds to the previous games. Again, sorry about the abbreviations. I am limited to whatever the amount of kanji letters there was. So, these entries here all correspond to how the previous games were. So where you have the storage, you can eat a meal, like as in DM, which is a daily meal, or RS, which is for sleeping or resting. One new feature that exists in Nanatama specifically is the mailbox. We don't have any mail at the moment, but apparently you do get mail as the game goes on. Like people send you packages in the mail. So it says, mailbox. Any mail that arrives for you will be placed in this mailbox. Select to move to bag, as in your item bag. So if you get anything in the mail, you can then pop it directly into your inventory. So that's what this screen is. So that's a new feature for this game. All the rest correspond to things that were in the previous ones. So here we have the storage transfer screen, or your storage container. Storage. Any items you don't need to use are best kept in storage for later use. So from here, we can put in and take out inventory related stuff. So if we want to put something in, we can go here and like say I want to pop, I don't know, my blade root. That's something I have to go through. I'll explain to you in a little bit too. Into that. So that's now in storage. Or if I want to take it out again, I go in here and I can do that. So these screens are all translated to, you know, into a much more Englishy kind of thing, so that you actually know what the hell's going on. Now, another important thing that must be done every day is the daily meal. Meal. Cook using the ingredients you have. By eating, the player's stats will increase. As in, so with every meal you have, your stats increase. Now, if you remember, Elena gave us a recipe for El Ryun bread. That's this one. So again, I've had to work on translating all the screens. This is just another one of them. So from this one, this is the daily meal screen. So we choose from the selection of meals that we have available. This one will increase as you find things in the game, and the NPCs give you new meals that you can make using those ingredients. So these three here you have unlocked from the start of the game, and this new one is because we got the El Ryun leaves back in the dungeon from one of the monster types. Oh, well, actually that's something else I need to talk about as well. Now from here you can choose what meal you want to take. Say I want to increase I want to pick this one to get my HP up a bit. A bit bland. Eat veggie sandwich. Okay. Now we've had our meal. Now I'm not going to rest just yet, because I want to show off a couple of things. So one of the new things that unlocks after the first conversation with Elena that we had where the professor showed up, she gave us an item called Blade Root, which is in here. So, strengthening. Root is a weapon accessory that improves their power potential. Improve them with materials, and you equip the root in the command item equipment menu. So here it shows what types of roots that you have currently available. Root items are something that has been current in the Dungeon Maker game since like day one. The first game had it, and second game had it. It's just something that you can power up with parts and things that you find from monsters to increase the stat buff benefit that it'll give you, you know? So there's a couple of things that are unlocked. So now if we go in here, we can now add it if we want. And that gives us a little bonus to our attack rating. Like it's attack plus 15%, as you see that 15% there. If we go into the gear file, there's now a category for root items that we have access to. So that's been translated. Another thing that happened, so if you remember, we spoke to Elena just before in the last time, and I updated my research file as for the monster that we encountered. So if you remember, the journal showed bet and then question marks. But if we look in there now that I've updated the R file, what's this? So there's a few. Firstly, we've got the learned bread in here from learning the recipe. And we've got this entry here, so it doesn't say question marks anymore. Now it says Bet Elran. What is an Elran? Let's have a look. Ah, this is an Elran. So if we go in here, now it's not question marks, which it was in the previous video, and it now has its own category of plant creature. So that's cool. And if we want to read up on more details, before this used to say no info or no intel available, but now it says a turnip-like plant monster with 2 legs. And as you can see, it has 2 legs, that kind of, which is bouncing on. So now there's information on our first monster that we've encountered in the game. Let me bring up my notes so I don't make sure I want to make sure I didn't miss anything, because I did a lot of work, and just there's so much stuff you forget when you're working on it. No, I think that's the main gist. Okay. Good side is with the completion of this. All right. Okay, yeah. As I was saying, so the vast bulk of stuff is done now. Well, actually, everything is done for the first day in game. Really happy that that is done. So the game now is in a playable state, and I will be releasing what's been done so far as a demo. Like the day I call this the day 1 demo. There is still a little bit of stuff to show. Not much at this point, but I've shown you the main gist. The only thing we haven't done is resting. And here we have where it says, you know, the day begins. Go out and build. We entered the ruins. We beat an Oran. We learned Olran bread, or Elran bread. We got an Elf Orb, Angel Orb, and we started the game with I class. And now if we proceed beyond this point, because you have the option of saving, deleting a game, or just continuing without saving. For now, I'm going to continue without saving. Now, I did some checking, and even in day number 2... Oh, damn it. Why is there something different this time? Okay. She just jinxed me. I was going to say that there are no new conversations that take place. But this time, she's totally saying something different. Okay, she totally jinxed me. Oh, and an info pop-up? What happened? Ooh. Okay. Well, I've got my work cut out for me. Anyways, so let's see if there's anything else other than that. Ah, and they're saying something different too. I totally tested this before, and people weren't saying new stuff. Okay, well, day 2 was not playable, it looks like. Okay, well, she's saying, oh no, she's saying new stuff too. Well, only a little bit. Oh, even she's saying, oh! Okay, so this is what my work is cut out for the next milestone. But I will mention that with the work that has been done already, so that brings us to the completion of milestone 4. I will say the game is basically in a playable state at this point. There are still systems, as you can see right here. I assume what this is about is buying spells, I think. I assume. I don't know for sure. I won't know until I translate it. Wow, even he's saying new stuff. I can't believe this, seriously. It's just because I went and spoke to everyone, ended a day so many times in a row, and fully tested it, and not once did I get new dialogue. And this time, of course, when I'm recording, then there's new dialogue. Oh man, everyone's saying new dialogue. Only a little bit though. Stuff that is like very quick to translate. So here you're seeing what will be part of the next one. So previously all my milestones were for very short jumps in time, as in like to get through one whole section, because the basics of the whole the main systems of town are done, except for the clairvoyant or fortune teller. That one looks like it needs to be translated. Ooh, there's a new room to it. Corner ones. Ooh. But I'll show you what is going to be worked on as part of my next current works. Oh, and by the way, one thing I did do, I did do a little bit of bonus work, and because I was planning on only just translating up to the end of the first day, but then I saw what was in this one, and I thought, at least I'll get it translated to the point of you going to the dungeon. So this was some extra work I did. So just getting it to show, go to dungeon, go to the ruins, etc. And if you go back to the player's house, here's an extra info pop-up that comes up. Morning. In the day, you have access to the item storage facility. And that's basically it. We don't have any new mail. Nothing to take in or put in. Yeah. But the next milestone will focus on an entire day. So as the main systems are done, except for here, as I said, we've just got basically just that and some conversations in town. A couple of new conversations. In fact, everyone had new things to say, which is annoying. But we have that. But we also have our second trip to the dungeon and the ruins to take care of. Ooh, okay. And so we got this info pop up. This one I knew about. So this needs translating. And I've been testing out this spear weapon, and I don't find I like it. So I'm going to go back to using the short sword. Ooh, even more. Wow. As you can see, the game is in a far more playable state now. The fact that I'm able to run around, know what the hell's going on, and just fight stuff now. But I'm just checking to see what work I've got ahead for me. Wow, lots of monsters this time around. annoying thing with the Elrians is that you don't get any gold when you kill them. Just the leaves, that's it. Now I could take that as a shortcut down, but I'm not going to. I want to go through this extensively and check everything. Alright, now we can go downstairs. Oh, they're here too, as well. Ooh. Okay, new conversation. Give me a sec, I might pop the volume up a little bit. Ooh. You monster type. More items. I see that thing I need to translate now. I can't render. Damn. I do like the music in this game. As I said in the other video though, it'll be the type that I get sick of after a while. Alright, now let's check on the areas that I already built in the previous video. So the layout might look a little bit different to it. It's different. So I did a test earlier of going here, and when I came here on an earlier test, there was like a dog in one of these rooms. This time, no dog. This time we only got those creatures, the cats or whatever they are. If I were actually playing this properly, this would be when I'd be expanding the dungeon, and I would have bought some parts and stuff before coming out here. But as I haven't translated those new conversations that took place, plus the extra room part that is now available, that is something I personally would want to do in my own time before I did something like that. So as I said, the next milestone is focused on an entire day. I just want to do all of day 2, not just parts. So I'd rather know everything that I need. Oh, there's monsters back. They respawn, don't they? Okay, I wasn't expecting respawn. The other games didn't have respawn. as you see, we have now a lot more gameplay where we can just sit and play. This is what I've been looking forward to as a massive fan of the previous games in the series. To just be able to, and I'll drop the volume so I make sure you can hear me. Yeah, just to get this to a point where, you know, it's playable. That's all I wanted really more than anything else. So that even after I return back to work in a few weeks' time, that we'd have this in a state where you can just play the thing. You may not know what the people are saying to you, but at least you can play Dungeon Maker like Dungeon Maker in a new environment. Like, that's the goal. I mean, that was what my goal was. Another conversation. Okay. Oh yeah, because we did encounter one new monster. So since I just killed a new creature in the ruins there should now be a new record in the monster file. Yep. So if we had this in English, we would see what it is. So that's like a cat kind of thing. Unfortunately, because it's only 2 letters, I'd have to call it like, you know, CT or something like that. And that's just that sucks so bad. I'll get on to talking about that at the end of the video too. I mean, it's stuff that I've mentioned many times previously, but it's stuff that I have to always cover. Yeah, we got a new monster category. I'm guessing that's like Beast. B-E-A-S-T. Well, cool, that fits. Okay. So sometimes it works out, like if you see the amount of letters at the top, so I was just counting them as I was looking at it. So sometimes I get lucky and the word that I want to put is the amount of letters that it ends up to be. Let's see if anyone else has anything else to say. Yep, Frederick has some extra stuff to say. Not much though. I have one of those? Oh, okay. Mind my silence, I am just looking around everything just to see if there's anything different. I'm more looking at it just analytically, just so I know what work I'm getting myself into for the next milestone. So, as mentioned, alright, 2 factors. Alright, so as I said, milestone... was it? Milestone 4? I think? Let's see. Milestone... yeah, milestone 4. So, milestone 4 has now been reached, the game is in a playable state, and as I said, I will be releasing a demo of this. Now, I need to go through a couple of things in relation to that. And also going forward. Pardon me. Actually, before I do that, so the stuff I mention often in these videos, I quickly need to go through. Now, if you've enjoyed the video you've been watching, if you'd like to contribute to this project, like if you... what's the word? I'm forgetting the words right now. You know, like if you want to contribute, like if you're a Dungeon Maker fan and you want to give to this project, firstly subscribe to my channel YouTube. That helps. I'm trying to one day hit 1,000 subscribers. I don't know if I ever will, but it's a nice goal to have. Getting there slowly. Oh yeah, and jump on Patreon. I do put up videos of in-betweens, so as in of the in-between work. So as work gets done, I kind of go through it in a bit more detail on each individual feature. So here I'm kind of more covering a broad overview of everything that gets done within a specific time frame. For the Patreon side, I put up more detailed videos. They're just like, and I call them sneak previews, where we just go more in depth through stuff. Okay, there's that. If you want to help this project out directly, there's 2 types of things I need. So I need someone who knows how to do variable width fonts, or even half length, or I don't know what you call it, half length fonts, whatever you call it. It's like where it's not going by 8 bits, you know, like 4 hexadecimal addresses to reach a letter. Instead you do it in like 2, you know, I don't know if that's like 4-bit or whatever. That, if that was done for this project, like I've heard that anything that's translating a Japanese game to English, that's like the first step that everyone does. Well, I don't know these things. I don't know. I mean, I've never done anything like this before. So that I need desperately. But at the end of the day, if I never get that help, no problem at all. I'll just keep on going. It just means that the project will be in this kind of form where everything's abbreviated, which it sucks. But that's one thing. The second I need is if there's anyone who knows about how to extract images from like the various files in the game. So if someone's able to extract and translate the image files. So when I say that, what I mean is stuff like so if we look in, there's actually quite a lot of them, but if we go in here, if you see all these icons down here, these are all image files. So I can't translate those because they're images. Stuff like this doesn't matter. But like if you saw in the dungeon when there was like the Japanese text up in the top right hand corner, that's stuff that I would need to have translated just to give this game a better polish. At the beginning of the game, it says like start and continue, but like in Japanese. Those again are image files that need to be translated. Things like sorry, I'm just trying to get there. Stats. So like what you see up here, these are all image files. So that's what I need. So if you know how to do those kind of things, your work would be exponentially beneficial to the project. Okay? So that's as far as things, you know, with the project go. And my cat is talking to me. He always wants to talk to me when I'm recording. Alright, so as for the demo that's going to be released, so firstly, I've got a Mediafire account, so I plan to pop up versions of this as I work on it. And some things I'll be adding to that, so I've been documenting all the work that I do on this project, including like the hexadecimal addresses for everything, also documenting, this is in different files and text files and stuff. So one, I've been having more like a FAQ kind of thing, like a game FAQ, of documenting everything, like every conversation from its actual translated versions, like in depth, compared to what you see in this, as well as like item lists, magic lists, weapon lists, armor lists, all that stuff. So I've got one for that, and then I've got another one where I've just got all the hexadecimal addresses with the direct translations of all that kind of info. So if you come along, you know how to do all those things like setting up variable width fonts and stuff, and you just want to do this on your own, be my guest, I don't care. As in, what I mean by that, I mean not as in like I don't appreciate my own work. I just mean that if you can do better, by all means. Like, I'm just a gamer who loves the Dungeon Maker games and wants to see this in the best form that it can possibly be. So, you know, if you take what I did and then make something even grander, hell yeah, I'll play the shit out of that. That's all good by me. No problem at all. But I'm documenting everything as I go along, as like a Bible of sorts. So that if someone else comes along, even in like 5 years' time, say I, for whatever reason, have to stop this project, you can take what I've done, pick it up, and polish this up. Totally fine. No problem at all. Okay? So I'll be including all these files in the demo, like the demo release. So I'll just include everything. You know? I won't be releasing the ROM, like, totally. I'll just be releasing the file itself that I've modified. but not all the other files that come with it. So the expectation is you will still need to go in, have your own, you know, like files that you have for the project, and then you just drag and drop this, and then you go into a UMD generator, and then generate it yourself with the file replaced. That's it. Okay, that is the plan going forward. So that's that. As I said, for milestone 5, it is to go through all of day 2 in the game, have everything translated from beginning to end in all the possible iterations of it that there are. Because I've got a funny feeling that as I go to the ruins, I'm going to get different combinations of monsters, so this might require a lot of testing. That's okay. That's half the fun. Yeah, so it has been really fun working on this project so far. This is something that takes up a lot of your time though, so, you know, much less gaming time and much more just working on the project. That's totally cool. And this video has been longer than I do most of the devblogs, but it's just because there's heaps of stuff to show. I hope that you've enjoyed watching this video where I've extensively been going through it all. And as I said, you know, you want to support the project, I've said, you know, Patreon and subscribing to the channel. You have those options. Okay, so that does it for devblog number... I think it's 9. Let me double check. Yeah, devblog number 9. So that does it for devblog number 9. So that's about 2 weeks of work. I think roughly about 2 weeks to get the project up to this point. The next one will... Each video from this point, depending on... I was going to say will be always for one day. I've got a funny feeling that as I work on this more and more, it'll be that there's less and less new text. Like there'll be occasional new conversations, but then lots of it is just playing the game. And if that's the case, all good. I'm happy to sit and play this thing. I'll just have fun playing it. Alright. As I said, that does it for devblog number 9. See you guys in the next video, where by 10 you'll see all of day 2 done, hopefully. Alright guys, have a good one.